Hello, everybody. Welcome to something I said I wasn't going to do. However, I've missed you guys. It's been a while since I've had a stream, and I think we need to kind of come in here, and I think we have to talk about open in some way, shape, or form. I cannot break it down the way I've done it in the past. The thing about open is it's like an endless galaxy of possibilities. Like there's just so many different things you can do, so many undiscovered things. Like, so if you're looking for a way to do crazy stuff, like open is the format for you. And then to throw things into, just to kick up the crazy notch a little bit, they went with everybody can run one of any Medusan Lord card or cohort, ghoul, or Destiny Lord kind of deal in the deck as well. So that also is something that we're going to have to take a look at. So in this analysis, if you checked out any of my past ones for 4E, Epic, Saga, if you this is your first one looking at mine, definitely go back. I have them posted on YouTube. But here we go. I'm already getting some love. Sanjiton donating 5 gifted subs. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate it. Welcome everybody who now has those subs. Alrighty. So as we kind of break this down, so it's going to work a little differently. I am not going to rank warlords and starting armies like I've done before. That's just I don't think I can fit a faction on one screen and actually accurately like analyze it and then break it down. And it's just because of the craziness. Like, I don't think there's really a bad warlord. You can do crazy things with every single warlord out there, except for Regent. Regent. Like, if you're that guy, he's still the worst warlord ever printed and ever created. You know what? If you do something with him, you're my hero. But everybody else, even Andal Smearty is cool. It's like, just doesn't matter what warlord you're really going to run. It's what class do you want is what you're picking, and what faction. Like, so you find the warlord who has those class or classes and that faction, and then you figure it out from there. That's how this open format works. So a few caveats before I get rolling. This format is not for the faint of heart. This format might be borderline unfun to a lot of people. And my message to you guys, like, if you're going to skip out on this event just because you're like, oh, this looks a little crazy, I don't want, like, that's totally fine. We never want anybody playing in a tournament that you're not going to have fun with. So, like, we understand, like, if you need a break and you want to just sit back and watch a bunch of idiots run into each other with stupid decks, like, this is the one to kind of sit out and just watch. But, just the best advice I can give you is, don't play anything you're not going to have fun. Don't try and win this event. I probably am not going to try to win this event. I say probably, but, it depends if I find, like, a really good idea. Like, there are some, like, easy, like, okay, I draw this card, I just don't lose kind of decks. And I'm like, yeah, that's just not interesting. So I'll show you some of the decks I have built as we go through this stream. So I'll give you a little peek of, like, how I've been kind of building those as part of this. But play something you're going to have fun with. Don't worry, like, the games are going to go super quick. Many of these decks win or lose on turn 1. Nobody's going to draw you out very long. But also, like, what the format looks like is all shaped by the players. So you guys really decide how this is going to look. And that's kind of part of what goes into trying to prepare for this deck. The typical scumbags who play scumbag decks in our meta. The people who like to have fun with those decks. So, like, think about what is this person going to do? And, like, all right, if this person's a douchebag, what's the biggest douchebag deck? Okay, that's what they're going to run. All right, cool. All right, this person likes doing crazy things with, like, these kind of items. All right, they're going to run that kind of deck. Like, that's what you kind of have to do. And you really, like, I chose this artwork by the great Lynn Hunter. I think it's this way. Yep. For Satusk, just because he's playing chess. It's a Nothrog playing chess. And I feel like that's a very good analogy for what we're going to do, because a lot of these games are going to be chess moves. You make one move incorrectly and you're done. You have to be very polished. You have to be thorough. You have to think ahead, because that's what it's going to be. It's like fully understanding what your opponent has, what the goal of their deck is. If you prepare to disrupt it, how can you disrupt it? If you do not prepared for disrupt it, you may have lost before you sat down. And that's going to be a lot of the cases here. But so you have to kind of go in with that open mind, and just try to really have fun with it, guys. And if you don't have fun, like, there's no shame in dropping. This is going to be a goofy tournament. So the last thing I want to see is anybody get turned off from the game because, they decided to try open. Like, I'll get to the shit talking aspect about choosing this event later at the end of the stream, but I want to stay positive for this one. So, like, you guys, because again, positivity. We're not playing Warlord, guys. Let's have some fun. All right, but we're going to dive into it. So, not going to go into each faction. It's the bad idea ever. Yeah, says the person who owns all these cards. So, okay, Slugman. But anyway, let's go into where we have to start when analyzing open. Again, I'm not analyzing factions. I'm not arguing that. So you have to kind of look at what does the adjacent format do that is really kind of like open, but just handcuffed. And that's Ancients. That's the format that we usually play for the most part. I'd say it is the primary format. And it is open with culling out a few of the busted combos that really makes open unfun. So let's look at that list and let's go down each card in it and talk about why they're on there and what is now going to be in the field and on the table because those cards are no longer restricted or banned. So I'm going to do some little slide switching here and hopefully I don't explode things. Okay, cool. First thing first, showing Limited Wish is legal. I am announcing this because I wasn't aware of this until last night while just looking through the open forum. And Josh was like, oh yeah, we announced it a week ago in this tiny little forum that doesn't exist anymore. But just let you know, it's 6. So fuck you, Woodrow, you stupid bitch. But Limited Wish is there. Just letting you guys know to be careful. Like, I don't know how it's going to work with the digital format. I'm told that the details of that will be coming out soon. But yeah, and Feather as well. Good catch. So let me actually show you that. So we have Limited Wish. This is the format is open, but you can run one copy of each Medusan Lord card. Limited Wish is now going to make the consistency of getting that one card. So if you're building a deck around that card, if it doesn't already start in play, which one of them does, that I'm going to show you, Limited Wish will help you fish that out. So you just have to be cognizant of that. There's Limited Wish, and then there's also Phoenix Feather. So let's go for Phoenix Feather, just to show you guys this. So this was one that came in 4th edition. This was Arn's version of it. It's definitely a more balanced version. It's a less sexy version too, though. The artwork is gorgeous on this, but Limited Wish, which we just saw by Lisa Hunt, who participated in the Warlord Art Show, I absolutely got a print for that, and I'm looking forward to having that on my wall. Is absolutely gorgeous, but that's a better card. This one, it lets you just take a lower level character from any discard pile and put it into play within 1 rank of whoever equips the Phoenix Feather, and opposing characters cannot react to or during this action. So there are some really cool aspects you can probably do for this, but you really have to build around Phoenix Feather. Limited Wish is just plug it in and go. So we'll wait and see how that works out, like how they're going to do that, if they are going to require a $5 donation to, a charity that is kind of in the spirit of Limited Wish, and how they're going to organize that. And poor Wes, how he's going to keep track of all that. Like, as long as those logistics are ironed out, we should be good, guys. But just be aware of how it goes and keep an eye out to see when they do announce that, how that's going to actually work out. So that's the first thing. All right, let's go to the Agents format as posted on sagaofthestorm.com. This is a good resource to always go to if you guys ever want to do this. And oh God, why is my browser looking terrible? Oh, well, kind of messed this up here. Yeah, I really messed that up. Okay, so this is going to look really ugly at first, and I apologize for it. Because apparently my, yikes, it just edited the transform, my slide just went away. That's basically what happened. It's fine. We're moving ahead. So let's take a look. You still get to see my beautiful face, so just won't look as clean here. Here we go. So let's take a look first at these top things. So in Ancients is a limited open format is basically how we describe it. This is just clarifying some rules. It doesn't talk about what cards are banned. So this is just an FYI if you want to see how rulings work. I always recommend just learn every single rule you have, from the get-go. Just always understand the rule number one of any kind of card game is know how your cards work before you do that. Otherwise you end up like Chase, who thinks he can run an ale deck and redirect strikes while stealth into opposing armies and then have to drop going 0-2 in 4E. True story. Very fun. Alrighty, so starting off, we have the reserved list. So the reserved means they cannot start and play. So Ancients prevents this from happening because we'll start first off. We have Archer Tower. Starting Archer Tower in play enables a lot of either mainly Saga with Angel Tears, for example. That could be really good. But either way, it's a 2 HP mercenary character that I could show you. But you all should know Archer Tower. Archer Tower. Boom. Come on. No. So it's this bad boy here. So. Aha! I fixed it. There we go. I found a way, guys. I found a way. But yes. So Archer Tower. 2 HP mercenary. It can't play action cards, so it doesn't get to do things like meet at the end, so that's the only drawback. But otherwise, any range strike from a character in that rank gets +6 to the die roll. So Saga starting with Angel Tears and having this is +7s every time you discard a card, and there's a lot of recursion. So any kind of sniper is just enabled by this, and any kind of blitz deck was really enabled by this, so that's why that's there. Here we go. Oh, thank God, this is nice and clean. I finally fixed it. All right. We need to talk about Edwin Ruthard? I don't even know. I always refer to this card as the stupid Bobby card. And why is it called the stupid Bobby card? You are about to find out. This is a level 1 druid that starts in play, came in an Epic Edition. Spend React. After you put a character into play, move target character with the same level as that character that entered play backward 1 rank. So you start 3 of these in Sir Robert the Vigilant. Sir Robert the Vigilant, from the very first set, makes your level 5 characters enter play in rank 4. So you pack your deck with a whole bunch of level 5 characters. You play one first action, spend these 3, opposing Warlord stunned. So if you built around your Warlord and you don't have enough protection, you're screwed. This was something that was very prominent in Ancients a couple of years ago, and Ed 1 was a real recent, I'd say within the last 2 years, addition to the Ancients format because of that. It's very unfun to play against, and it shouldn't exist, but it does. So you have to be weary of this. So things that you want to look out for. If you're playing a wizard, play Blink. Blink to the front rank after they target you with one of this. If you're a rogue, you can go higher awareness and literally murder Edwin, but you're going to need like 2 of that. Blink, you're good because you're moving up and you're canceling an action. So at most they can push you back 2 and just keep you back to start. If you're a Deverinian, you can play Halo of Secrets in rank 3, cancel 1, push, and at least you're only spent in the 4th rank, which still might mess you up. But, and this is all, again, just for Sir Robert playing a character. That's all it has. They do sacrifice Pendant of Grandeur. Oh, I don't even know what that does, Sanji, so we will look that up. But basically, the thing about this combo is you don't have to invest much into it. All you're doing is playing a character. This character's +2 levels while he or she is a target of opponent actions. That's pretty funny. Oh my God. I love that deep pull, Sanji. That's really good. And it's level 2, so anyone can equip it. Oh, man. But yeah, so that is that one. Makusag Cavalry is another recent meme that we all love. It's on there because for the Ancients format, the new Nasserol, the Warlord version of Nasserol Hate. Starting Makusag Cavalry in rank 2, first action, just going kaboom on opposing ranks is pretty silly. So you can do that here, but this is open. That's not the craziest thing you can do. But if you're going to do that, if you're going to play Hate for any other reason, just remember Makusag Cavalry can do Makusag Cavalry things. And then there are the rings. So the Ring of Blasting, Ring of Guile. Let's show the Blasting one. That's probably the strongest, but they're all really good. Just to say it is the strongest, it shouldn't undersell the other ones. The cleric one is like really good for like Fatraka decks, but it's probably the weakest. But then the rogue one, the fighter one, like there are stupid combos with this. The Ring of Blasting is probably the most utility one, but they all start in play. So that's the issue with them and why they're on this list. So you could see people who start these. Like the thing about Limited Wish and Phoenix Feather, they thin your deck. And when you're trying to play a very consistent deck like the open format demands, you're thinning your deck by even one card is good. But there's also a powerful effect attached to this. There is a drawback. Your characters in your army have -3 attack for equipping the Ring of Blasting, for example. There's ones where like you can't put characters into play. Each one has their own drawback on it. So take a look at each of the rings. We won't go through all of them for time. But this one is just remove a spell from your discard pile to gain +2 on DCs and range strike rolls. But the big one is discard a spell. You inflict an additional wound until the end of turn. So there are things that you can do right here that just silver bullet, one big spell, kaboom, with this. Like you can build around that. It is going to be tough. There is expect a lot of people to have protection. So you have to have answers for their answers to your answers, if that makes sense. But you'll see a lot of these. You'll see a decent amount of these rings. I'm going to say a lot. There are definitely decks that are going to utilize some of them. I wonder, no, Oblong can't equip all of them. He's not big enough. May start and play equipped to your Warlord, but I don't know. Do you have to legally equip it? That's kind of funny. 4-ring Oblong. So those are the reserved. Let's take a look at the restricted. The following cards are restricted in Ancients, meaning you can only have one of each in your deck. So Archer Tower, we've already covered. That's also off the table. You can run ×3 Archer Tower. In Ancients, you can't start it in play. You can run one copy of it. Makes it very balanced. When you draw it, it's really, really good. But you have to eventually draw it out, and that's not as easy in Ancients. In Open, you're just starting with it. Don't worry about it. Helm of Undying, that is a card that we saw a decent amount of during the Saga block. And the reason it is on this is not, I don't believe there's an infinite combo with it. Helm of, you got to go to U. There we go. It's not because there's an infinite combo. There might be. I don't know. But order once per turn, kill a ready character in your army and put a character of equal or lower level from your discard pile into your hand. So the way that the ruling works, if you kill a character that is ready, you can bring back that same character. And then as a spend order, you can do that. I don't know. There might be some infinite combo where the character you're killing like readies the person who has the helm, and then you can just infinitely kill and then get an effect. There probably is something like that I'm not thinking of. Yutaka has a silly info combo. Okay, cool. So one does exist. I just don't really know it off the top of my head. So, but it's on here for things like that. And also just because, you can get the same character back. Any Necro will have at least 2 of this in the deck, probably 3. And that's a general rule I'll say. It's going to be very rare to see one of anything in deck. I think a lot of these decks are going to be ×3, unless it's, of course, your Medusan item. That's really it, which we will get to in a little bit. So from Helm of Undying, why did it go to the top of the page? To improved invisibility. So this is going to be a huge card in this format now, just to kind of stall out the game. It may even just literally just buy a turn. Improved invisibility. This card is again, it's does not detach when the effect ends. Ooh, that's an interesting ruling. Look at that. So spend order. Illusionist can play this as a second level spell, so you don't have to have an Illusionist Warlord to play this. You can just start. Every faction, I think, has a level 2 Illusionist, if not most. Spend order, attach this card to a character within 2 ranks. While the card is attached, they gain stealth +10, which doesn't really matter, and may not be targeted by characters. Period. This effect ends after the character performs a strike or action that targets another character, or the end of the next turn, whichever comes first. So basically, you have 2 turns of you can't touch me. Playing this could stop Gravity Flux. It could stop any kind of real infinite combo that's about to go off because they can't do a strike to you. You'll be all alone and everything else will die, but you'll survive for 2 turns. So there's that. But and just it's the same reason why Will-O-Wisp is going to be a good card in this set, where it's like it stops range strikes. It just completely completely protects a rank, or your Warlord, either one. So, as we mentioned with Sir Bobby, you can run this, win initiative, play this on your Warlord first action, then you don't have to worry about getting pushed. And then if you're Warlord, and then, you just let them play out their hand when they don't have a level 5 character to go, then or you have build out your ranks, then you can start doing stuff with your Warlord using their abilities and targeting other characters that would make this go away. And, then you're golden from there. So very important card. Let's see. Into the Tunnels. Now, this one, I don't know. I think it might even be on here just because it slows the game down so much. Spend order until the end of the turn. All players must discard a card from their hand as a cost to perform actions to target opposing characters. So this is probably on here just so you don't have games where someone constantly plays this all the time and it's just a very unfun aspect. I don't it is a cool card. I just don't think it's super powerful. I don't think you'll see much of this in open. I could be wrong, but I don't expect to. But just being aware that is now available. Kate Picks, who we saw, is just a level 1 elf. Enters play, snatch off an item. That's just generally really good in any format it was ever around. And so it was always restricted. So you have your 1 K-Pix, you do it. Now you'll see 3 K-Pix. So if you're playing against an elf, don't put any item that you want to save or keep that's crucial to your plan in rank 1 or 2. Or if you are, have protection for it. So that Sakara Angel Tears deck that I mentioned. That Angel Tears is gone against an elf. Just accept this or prepare for it. Nightmaster Rest was something we saw in Epic. So, Nightmaster Rest. We saw this guy's prevalence here. After you put a character into play, that character performs a melee strike. So Fatraka Bomb is the deck that this really goes in. With Fatraka being your Warlord, you can start that Reaver Bihaya in rank 1, put a character into play like Feral, who runs to the front rank, does 2 melee strikes, has Ernak, lets you do 2 strikes. So it's just, for the tempo alone, having him start and play, and that aspect of that's not even first action, that's pre-first action, kaboom your army. That's why he was on here. You could see him. Nodwick, you only wanted 1x. That was a way of kind of, just mitigating that. But now people can run 3 of Nodwick. And Nodwick is not unique. So just remember that. It's a good way, I would say, for this format. If you're running a deck that's going to discard some cards and you're worried about hitting that 1 Medusan Lord item, if it is an item that you're running and it goes to the discard pile, Nodwick could be your answer to get that back. I will show you guys an example of this as we get after we get through agents. Paradigm Shift. This is on here. You can run 1x of it just because, it probably should be banned for the benefit. Just the RNG of drawing the 1x of it, and then so the looming threat of it is always there, that if you're ever trying to fix a rank, your opponent could just disrupt you and choose a character to force them to fall forward. But the real pain of Paradigm Shift, as you can see it just right here, before an illegal rank is fixed, target a character in that rank, they must fall forward to fix the illegal rank. That becomes a 2-card punch with one which was on the ban list, which you'll see soon. Gravity Flux, which I am the proud owner of this original art. Thank you to that art show, Malcolm McClinton. Shout out to you, buddy. Can't wait to have this bad boy as the background. Another Malcolm McClinton artwork. Mass blessing. But I've won many games with Gravity Flux. We saw Saga win many games in Saga 1, except unless you're Temperance, who you were like, you know what, I don't want to run Gravity Flux, and I still want to beat you all, so I'm going to do that. And he ran a Sanguinal deck that just didn't run it. I want strikes instead, but that was fun. But Gravity Flux plus Paradigm Shift in your opening hand with Sanguinal, when you're drawing 6 cards, you don't have an answer, you're just dead. It's just how it goes. So that's why Paradigm Shift was a 1x. Again, I think this should probably be banned, but whatever. You want to put the 1 on there, that's fine. Perfect Self. That's an interesting one. that it's only 1x of. I think it's in there, again, for the same reason that Into the Tunnels is on here, just so it doesn't slow down the game. It's a level 6 Monk or Mentalist action only, so you do have to work at it. Inquisitor Chire can use Sir Serene Myrdeth to get +1 level performing actions and then can start easily doing this. But order until the end of turn, characters may not be targeted with melee strikes by a character without a weapon of level 8 or higher, and may not be targeted by range strikes by a character without a bow of level 8 or higher. So you need a level 8 weapon or bow, but like you can still be targeted by like MLG and stuff. So there are ways out of this. So it's not so stupid, but it is a 1x on here on this list. Just again, to avoid silly games where things just don't happen. You're all playing a card game. You want things to happen. So overall, number 1 rule. Alrighty. So perfect stuff. So Phantasm, again, another card we saw a lot of in the Saga block. It is there's gonna be some answers in it because it's something where it's like search your deck for a card. Here you go. Again, Illusionist can cast this as a 2nd level spell. You're not going to want a 2nd level character to cast this, most likely. This is going to be your Warlord casting this, but you can build a deck around Phantasm now. Search your deck for a character of equal or lower level and put it into play in the first rank, ignoring level requirements and loyalty penalties. The character is killed after it suffers 1 or more wounds, because it's just a fake image, or at the end of turn, whichever comes first. So phantasming out something stupid, and I think we saw like the Avatar Spirit in the Saga block, putting that out, having it swing and then could blow itself up into a lot of wounds. There's even crazier things you can do at open with this. You can phantasm out Sir Geoffrey Drac, I think it is, who lets you then essentially time walk. Sir Geoff. There we go. Deveranian Epic Hero. So remove him from the game. If it was in your first rank, perform any number of orders until you pass. So you basically, time stop. And then you get your combo off, whatever it may be, and you just win. So that is why Phantasm is on there. Supply, that is on here just to kind of make Zod a little more in check. But remember how Capex is going to be very prevalent. Supply will also be relevant in Uber Dwarfs because it lets you just retrieve an item, just like Nodwick. Retrieve an item from your discard pile, and you're +2 level for equipping it if it's a dwarf. So just super, 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 super good. That dwarf, that dwarf is +2 levels if your opponent has discarded any of the items this turn. So that's what it is. So like if he also has insurance where if you're in the front rank, you have a level 8 item on there, they knock it off. Well, you're +2 levels now, and you can just bring it back in. You don't have to go back for it and meet the level requirement. Supply, very good. And then Torin Yeskar. I don't think I have to show Torin. Everybody knows Torin on here. You know what? Maybe I will, just because it's Grabsky art. Wherever he may be. Grabsky, if you were watching this for whatever reason, come back. There's a lot of people who want to give you a lot of money for your artwork. Me being one of them. So, Torin Yeskar, discard a card. Look at the top 5. Pick any card, put them back. Not unique. He's a seer. He's level 3. He's a merc. He goes in every single deck. Unless your Warlord cannot draw cards. Simple as that. Very, very, very good. Very iconic. Probably, arguably, the best card ever printed. He's definitely in the top 5 if you ever want to kind of have a list of that, like the all-time iconic cards. He was like $20 or whatever it was back in the day, and now with the secondary market, he's probably like $50 a pop. Who knows? He's very expensive. So that would be the restricted. Now let's look at the banned stuff. So it's almost like, that was just not even the worst of the worst. Here, now we're going to get into it. So A Prophecy Fulfilled. I'm going to talk about A Prophecy Fulfilled, Negotiated Surrender, and Malrog's Lair all at one, because they're on here for the same reason. Prophecy, prof. I can't spell prof. This is not good, but it's an auto win condition. It's something where it's not kill your opposing warlord to win the game, which is the main heart and soul of this, of like how the game was designed. So whenever Ancients was being made, they wanted to kind of deal away with these alternate win conditions. So that's what it is. It doesn't matter how good it is. It's just as the card pool is going to progress, there's probably going to be something stupid to haunt in here. So it's better to like safeguard and just get rid of these stupid alternate win conditions and not even worry about it. So you have Prophecy Fulfilled, which requires you to have Eastern, Western, Northern, and Southern territories attached. And each one of them require you to do crazy things in order to attach it. It's a lot to pull off, but if you pull it off, it's very rewarding in a sense. It's not good. The best is probably Negotiated Surrender. So let's talk about this one. Warlord only, spend order. If your opponents have no cards in their deck and your total number of monks and mentalists in your front rank exceed the number of characters in the opposing front rank, you win the game. So you can do this with Simon Abraxas, which again, I will show you guys a Simon deck that does Negotiate Surrender once we get past this Ancients list. That's another one I'll show you. I have one built. I love it. It's not great. It's fun. But the problem is there aren't that many good monks and mentalists. So that's the drawback here. And working to get your opponent to deck out is a little harder than you would think. But also in this format, if everybody's focused on running limited wishes and make it consistent, maybe they're thinning their deck for you. And it makes it a little easier. So there are things we could talk about there. And then the last is Malrog's Lair. The big baddie Malrog, who we have not seen. 3 charges. When you defeat Malrog's Lair, you may instead remove a charge. If this removes the last charge, you win the game. So with Open, there could be some really good things where you play the Malrog's Lair while your opponent can't do anything. Use a card effect to move 2 of those charges off, and then just defeat the dungeon with 15 levels of characters and then just win the game. You can do this. So this might even be easier than Negotiate Surrender. But that's also why this banned. So again, these alternate win conditions, you may see them. Malrog's Lair could absolutely be a win condition if someone's going to time stop you. So just, we're not literally time stop, because I think that character who cast that spell, but like Jeffrey Drack, you can see a Jeffrey Drack Malrog's Lair coming. Okay, cool. So that was the band, starting with the Prophecy. Amber Gargoyle. So let's give a look at this. Amber Gargoyle, he is on here because of an infinite combo. This was a really good 4E card just in general. We saw, Feck Rockbender, someone ran him in the 4E deck. I don't think they did too well, but like that was where this card came out, and this is where that card kind of shined, but it gets a little busted and open. Before Amber Gargoyle is killed, spend a cleric, put Amber Gargoyle into your hand after it dies. So Amber Gargoyle plus the Broken Earth, who we'll show. Broken Earth. Before he dies, kill this gargoyle. Your other gargoyles have this ability, so he gives this ability to Amber Gargoyle. Kill this gargoyle. Broken Earth does not die. Destroy all his items, remove all wounds, ready him, and move him to the gargoyle's former location. So if you have a way to have Amber Gargoyle, the Broken Earth, and then you play a card called Reckless Abandon after your opponent, let's say your opponent's spent out and they have no other actions to do. Reckless Abandon is something you play with Broken Earth, and he gains this ability where spend X fighters in your army. It doesn't matter how many you spend. Till the end of turn, this fighter gains plus X HP. Again, that doesn't matter. Order, suffer a wound, perform a melee strike. Until the end of turn, this character's wounds may not be removed or reduced by action cards. So you give this ability to the Broken Earth. He order wounds himself, does a strike. Order wounds himself, does a strike. He dies. You spend that Amber Gargoyle, and then you spend, at first, you'll have to, after you spend Broken Earth for a Reckless Man, you need to spend another cleric in your army. Doesn't matter, any cleric, to return Amber Gargoyle to your hand. Broken Earth goes to right where that Amber Gargoyle was, is now alive and ready. Play the Amber Gargoyle. Then you keep going order. You don't spend an attack with Broken Earth, but you order. He dies. Then you replace, when Broken Earth is about to die, you use that Amber Gargoyle you just put back into play to save him, and then you use Broken Earth, who's now ready, to put the Amber Gargoyle back in your hand. So it's just boop, 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 boop. And, once you get your opponent to a point where they're not doing any actions and you have that set, you have infinite melee strikes, and that's it. As long as they have a way to disrupt the Amber Gargoyle, or, or to remove any kind of the Reckless Abandon thing, like that's how they can do that. But that's why he's on there. Amber Gargoyle is an infinite combo. Speaking of infinite combos, Apprentice Rama. Good old apprentice. Once per turn, level 1 Deverinian. So he can start and play. You can start 3 of him and play, actually. Once per turn, after an opposing character targets Apprentice Rama with a melee strike or action, doesn't matter if it's a strike, it can be anything. Kill a Deverinian in this rank, cancel the melee strike or action. You may put a wizard spell from your discard pile into your hand. So Apprentice Rama, basically that text should say, if you draw Severed of Flesh in your opening hand, you never lose a character. Because the way it works is Apprentice Rama will react, kill himself, and then to cancel the action, you play Severed of Flesh from your hand to bring him back into play. You get that Severed of Flesh back because of Apprentice Rama's ability. So if you especially have a Necromancer like Azran the Foul, for example, who with Apprentice Rama, anytime they kill your guy, they're just getting an extra free guy to strike. But like again, it's just anytime that character would die, Severed of Flesh, Severed of Flesh, Severed of Flesh. And it's just the same location too. So even if you're like, okay, cool. Well, you had 3 Apprentice Rama and you have a Severed of Flesh, so you can infinitely just save your guys. Well, I'll just attack your second rank. Okay, cool. I spend an Apprentice Rama back 1 rank. He's going to keep coming back in the same location. So it's just, okay, we get into that little scenario and then we don't have to worry about our characters dying no more. So that's why he, rightfully so, is just a no-no. Brother Averill. I will admit that my knowledge of this one is a little less, but I know he's on here because of some kind of infinite combo. With Railer Magic Bane. 4 free kingdoms in your army performs an attack. His next 2 melee strikes this turn are critical failures, and then his next strike after those this turn is a critical success. So basically, with him with Railer Magic Bane says your next 3 strikes are a critical success. I'm sure there's some kind of stupid thing or some interaction there. I think that's why he was on there. I don't know if it was too good or not, but that's why he's on there. Children of Yeskar. We all saw this card. You'll see probably 3 of this in just about every deck in open. Children of Yeskar. From Dominance. We've been seeing these get opened on our stream as we open up Dominance packs. If Children of Yeskar is in the discard pile, you may spend any character in your army as an order to put him into your hand. So the errata, it has to be a higher level, so you can't spend level 1. So children can't get back children, but it's still really, really, really good. There are some interactions we will go through, but if anything, if you play Tauren Yeskar, you can play Children of Yeskar because Tauren loves his children. It fuels his ability, and then he just spends himself to just get it back, and then you have card advantage, and card advantage and card economy are huge. Day of the Raven. This won't take long to explain, because we're not going to try to explain it. Day of the Raven is a 4E promo that me, on the player design team for 4E, doesn't remember ever existing. Same thing with Florian. He doesn't remember this card ever existing. So someone, like maybe R just is like, I got to slip this one in and just print it. Like, no idea. I've never seen this card. I have no idea until like a few years ago when Josh King showed up with it at Gen Con, and it was kind of like, you made this, right? Like, this isn't a real card. This is like some kind of crazy, because it's Armageddon's art, I believe. I think so. I don't know what it is. But it's just like, what does this card do? Do any of you know what it does? Order, cancel all ongoing effects, remove it from the game. What's an ongoing effect? What is the limits of an ongoing effect? How would you define an ongoing effect? That is why this card makes 0 sense. It is on here literally so Vic can actually get sleep at night. That is the reason why this card is banned, because there's so much ambiguity in what it affects and what it should affect that they just stopped it. It's like, you know what? We want to just pretend this card doesn't exist, because you know what? It doesn't exist. Next, we'll have Field of Bone. So this is on here for the Haviland Tanzik Benedric bomb deck. Field of Bone as a spend order. It's only a Necromancer only. All players may take characters of lower level than this wizard from their discard pile and place them into play into their first rank. Players may not retrieve more than one copy of a unique character, nor more total levels than 3 times the Necromancer's level. So if you're playing this with a level 5 Necromancer, like you would be required to, you get 15 levels of characters back from the discard, and one that's not higher than 5th level. Until the end of turn, these characters are undead and are evil. At the end of the turn, you can discard them. So Haviland Tanzik, who says order kill an elf, give someone +1 HP, they can just play these Necromancers to recurl the characters they kill and gain their abilities and their effects again, in addition to just fueling the Benedict Bomb. That's why this is on here. It is rather silly and really consistent. So Feel the Bone. Gravity Flux, we already went through. Jotia Sign, everyone's favorite. He is on here, I think. Again, I think it was a future-proof kind of deal. Jotia. This is the choose a lower level, choose any character of 4th level or lower that's not multi-class and make them your Warlord. So there's a lot of good options in Ancients for this guy, but I think he's on here just to kind of stop really any silliness, and just because of the unlimited possibilities, you didn't want to deal with that in Ancients. The whole point of Ancients was to make it a limited thing, and he makes everything unlimited, especially if new cards are going to ever come out. So the option here with him could be something like Hex, Hex Strathmore, or whatever, that Free Kingdom guy who makes all of, if it's first turn, all of his strikes are critical successes. Like, he's a good option. But there's also some other crazy stuff, but we'll show some, I'll show an example of that Hex deck. I have it built. We'll show that. Let's show it now. How about that? Let me see. Untap for analysis. Look at this. Oh, look at these decks I already have. You guys are getting a little sneak peek. I will be showing you a Sakaar, an Azarin, a Jotia Hex, and a Simon. But we got to get to certain cards before I show you the other 3. So, Hex Starsmore is this guy right here. Level 4, Free Kingdom with 3 strikes. Daybreak, if it is the first turn, his melee strikes are critical successes. So he's on here for another card on this list. So that's why I'll just bring this up now. And that is the Sword of Chaos. Whenever this character rolls a natural 20 on a melee strike roll, and natural 20 just means critical success now with the new rules, he or she may immediately perform an additional melee strike after this one. So what you do is you get him starting in rank 3, level 4, so he's level 7 for equipping items. So you play things like, Black Sunhelm, Maker's Way, Put to the Test, which I don't see here. Did I not put to the Test in this deck? Wow, that is terrible. Okay, yeah. So Put to the Test should be in here. I don't know where it went. I definitely had it in here at one point. Put the Test in here so you have abilities for him to get to that level 8 item. Draw the Sword of Chaos. Put it in its first turn. Have him just do a melee strike. Any melee strike. Doesn't matter if it's against your own character, whatever it is. You can go Shoulder Charge to get him to the front rank. And now he's just constantly doing melee strikes. Doesn't matter what happens with this Shoulder Charge, it just moves him to the front and gets him going. Or something like Flame Steed, which is just spend this and do a +5 melee strike. You do that against your own character and then just watch everything go kaboom. He kills his whole army first just to get him to the front rank, and then he kills your entire army unless you have a way to kind of stop that. But then so that's what this deck kind of does. It's just draw out your deck to get the Sword of Chaos onto Hex turn 1, and then if that doesn't work, you have this dungeon that says it's the first turn. So this is an example of the Jotia deck. So the Medusan Lord card here is Wretched Servant. Since Jotia is a mercenary, he starts with mercenary cards. So this is one that we'll get into a little bit, but this is basically gives you a 6-card hand. So we'll talk about that guy a little later. So that would be Mr. Sign. And I don't know if you guys hear a lot of people yelling in the background. My neighbors are having fun. So it's good yelling. I promise you it's good yelling. What's going on, Midge? How you doing? So, yeah, they said hi to me too. That's really fun. Alrighty. We have Leela. Leela. Here we go. So Leela, spend order. Once per turn, return a higher level non-warlord mercenary in your army to its owner's hand. Perform a +5 rating strike. There is an infinite combo with her and Dorath Sadul, which is a warlord. You play that plus, so it's a Dorath. plus this guy, who says, order once per turn, return target non-Warlord character to its owner's hand. This ability may not target opposing characters with items equipped. So the idea is to get Dorath to lose the Warlord trait by killing him and having Tavin or Maximilian or anyone else, Tavin, where once turn before Warlord dies, he permanently gains the Warlord trait and you don't lose the game. So you work on getting him dead, getting Tavin your Warlord, and then you're free to go Leela. You play Dorath into play, you put Leela, you use Dorath's ability to bounce somebody. Leela shoots, bounces Dorath. Play Dorath, bounce Leela, drop Leela, bounce Dorath, play Dorath, bounce Leela, and it's just infinite strikes. So that is luckily stopped. I think there's probably even more than that out there. But I think that's the one I know of. I'm sure there's somebody who has some kind of things. Zampar was considered doing it during the EE event. Yeah, it is a little harder to do for EE, but it was on there. It was on the table for sure. Mirror Magic. So this one enabled so many stupid infinite combos. And now it's going to be back on the menu, boys. Mirror Magic. Target an adjacent character card and select an action printed on the target. This character is considered to have that action printed on his or her card until the end of turn. So like I know the example that I remember of this card being stupid was how it killed Ale Darkfeather. And this was when you can run 2 Warlords in a deck. You had Haviland Tansisk as the Warlord. You drop Lord Winter, put him next to Cordios, and have Lord Winter Mirror Magic Cordios to gain that ability where it inflicts a wound on him and you wound any character and ready. So you did that with Haviland's ability to give Lord Winter all these HP, and then just when you spend order to wound yourself, to wound someone within 2 ranks, Lord Winter would ready and then just keep doing it. So basically kill all your elves. Like, if I have more HP than you, you die. That was basically it. There are some other kind of stupid things, but again, it is one of those like limitless possibility cards. So for something like Ancient, you just stop it. Stop that silliness before it gets too silly. Negotiate Surrender we already went to. Nephilim Gargoyle is another one. Oop, I did not. It is on here recently. You can actually, if anyone was around for the, I think it was open, that I think that was that tournament. The one that Sissy Lal, it was an Ancients one, I think. That Sissy Lal built Belial with Arcane Quartet. Nephilim Gargoyle was the ability to just search out any of the items you needed to kind of do this. Or search your deck for an item and put it into your hand so that you can search out for the tome that you needed to get that combo going. He's on here for that deck. And that's pretty much it. And he's level 6, so... But Belial can play, or Belial can play him as a cleric, no problem. Olive Arc the Quiet. This is something, again, if you're still building out your open deck, play one of this guy. You can only play one of them. Definitely play one of this guy in any deck you run. After he enters play, he gains the class and faction of your choosing permanently, and then after a character of the same faction as Olive Arc is targeted by an action, not a melee strike, kill Olive Arc, cancel the action. So this is protection for any of the silliness that might be coming your way. He is banned in Ancients just because he's just too ubiquitous. So, and he's only a 1 of anyway, so you're not going to just, like how they limited Tauren. Tauren was ubiquitous, but you just made him a 1x. Well, Olive Arc's already a 1x, so but it's like, nah, let's just get rid of him. Olive Arc plus Chire equals profit. Oh man, that's kind of funny. That is really, really, really good. I want to see it. One last time. This is another recent addition. This comes from the Caitlyn deck, which I think you guys have been hearing about. So if you don't really know what this does, so order target a character in any discard pile, retrieve the target and put it into play ready in your front rank and under your control. The target performs a melee strike. Remove the target from the game regardless of location. So what happens with this card is if you have Caitlyn the Free, you discard 3 cards from your hand. Ideally, one of them is a Dragon Lord. It could be Altus. It could be Draxon, I think is the one that they usually go for. Any Dragon Lord, plus the card Invasion, which can be played from the discard pile as a react. And what it does is, you discard those. So let's say if you have those 2 cards in hand, you discard that and any one other card, and you search out one last time. You play one last time, you target that Dragon Lord you just discarded, you put it into play. When that character enters play, you react with Invasion and drop 3 Supremacists from your hand into play. Because dragons are not unique, and they enter play in the rank behind, or in Altus, they enter adjacent to him, let's just say. And then here comes 3 Supremacists, and I'm going to murder you. So that's the Caitlyn combo. So they put a stop to that because it's just unfun. I think there's even more with like Viper Whip and other craziness around this. Like I forgot what actually happens. I know it's just, Vic was talking a lot about it as a deck that he ran even at Gen Con in 2019. Fat Kid still trucked him with my Adorame deck. That's what's up. Shout out Midge. What up? So, but like that deck was a little stupid, a little unfun. So they put the kibosh on it. Let's talk about Worm. Mr. Algast of the Algast clan. Oh, it doesn't like the little dot I put on it. Also, it doesn't like the apostrophe. Very sensitive search. He is on here because once you get him into play, you can just bring any opposing warlord to the front and just murder them. You can see a lot of Worm drop decks. He is the Overlord. He would be your Overlord that you drop, so you have to kind of build around him. But they wanted to stop those decks in Ancients, wisely so. Overwhelm. I'm going to try and speed it up here. I know you guys want to get to the Medusan Lord cards, and we are at 53 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up these last ones in 7 minutes at least. Overwhelm. Spend any number of fighters in your army, perform an order. So this is on here just because of the amount of speed that you can go. And just it can go super fast and do stupid stuff. There's no real one combo that this is limited to, but that's why this card is hit, because it otherwise in normal play, nobody would miss it that it's gone. But it stops silliness from being on the table. So that's why it's here. Rouse, speaking of silliness. Let's go with Rouse. Daybreak. After he enters play, if it is the first turn, ready up to 2 characters in your army. There's some stupidness where you can basically get an infinite combo where you just get infinite strikes with him because you're getting a combo on turn 1 and you're readying characters. I forgot how or for what means. I don't really remember exactly who the engine is. I know there's a way like you can just draw infinite cards with him if your target is like Vision. That's basically what this guy does. Like if someone's running this guy, they're using that react to get some kind of infinite combo going. I forgot how. I just know it's infinite. Somebody in Discord has probably talked about it somewhere. And then, so that I don't fully understand the means of it. And this one I still don't understand the means of it. Let's see. Maybe he's related. I don't know. So, Carrion Manticore does not spend when using spend order action cards. When return, discard a card from your hand, perform +0. Okay. So for that text, does not spend using spend order action cards. There's something with this guy to have an infinite combo. I have no idea what it is. Somebody out there, if anyone knows why Sicarian Manticore is like next on here, like what is the actual combo? I don't even know. I couldn't tell you. So I'm not a full-on expert, yet I'm still giving analysis, and you guys are actually spending time watching me. So, haha, suckers, gotcha. But there's something with that. So that's really what that's about. If we can figure out the means of what the action of not having him spend would be, that's your craziness. So here we go. And it's action cards specifically. Let's go with Mr. Alder, who we saw in the Epic Edition. Is he spelled wrong or something? Are you on here? There we go. Is he spelled wrong on the Ancients? Adler. Alder. Yep. So, technically, you guys, you can play this card in Ancients because they have the wrong card. ADLER? ALDER. So, there you go, guys. Misspelling. Woodrow, Josh didn't catch it. Just go. Any Ancients tournament, play this and argue, rules lawyer them, saying, gotcha. That's just how it goes. That one's for free from me. So this guy's on here just because Adorame can search him out for turn 1. And we saw him in a lot of the Trevor games that I streamed here on Epic. After the first turn, he turns into a 3-strike monster. So while Adarami is not necessarily a problem in open, it's still a really good deck, but she plays the way it was. I don't know, like I've seen a few people to say it like this in Discord, and it's absolutely the case. Adarami plays a fair game where I play the characters that are really good, and I do melee strikes, or I just use my level 1 to kill you. And Shaden could be one of those level 1s, but that's just not the unfairness that is open. There's more unfair that you can do. So this guy's actually pretty okay at open. You don't have to really worry about that. But that's why he's there. If you are going to build an army and you like, you know what, I will give that advice to anyone who's kind of stuck. Like, I don't know any of these crazy Medusan Lord cards. I don't know what I want to do. You can run an army deck. It's just straightforward, simple, new player friendly. You play these level 1s like Shaden Alder and you just murder people. But then other than your 25 characters that you're going to run, the 25 actions and items, run stuff like Twist of Fate, Burn the Inn, Sabotage, like anything to just absolutely screw over your opponent, just to disrupt them. Because your whole goal is you're going to play a fair game and you're going to put a clock on them where your little weenies are going to rush them. And then the rest of your support is just going to be to just stop whatever they're doing and then just try and outrace them to the win. That's, it's not a tier 1 deck, but it's a deck that you absolutely can do in open. So Sword of Chaos we mentioned. We got 2 more cards, guys. The Restless. He is similar to Children of Yeskar, just not as good. The Restless. While he's in your discard pile, your Warlord has the ability to order to discard a card, put him from your hand, put the Restless into your hand from your discard pile. So him with Children of Yeskar gets really good. So that's why he's there. And then last but not least, let's talk about... Why did I go all the way up? Wyvern's Flames. So this was another one we saw. I think it was Epic, or was that the one in between campaign? Wyvern. So this is on here because rules lawyers are stupid. That is the only reason this card's on here, and to basically tell those people to shut up. Spend order. Target a character within 3 ranks until the end of turn. That character gains +7 attack and must make a magic save, DC 19, after he performs an action or suffer 1 wound. So you target Gush, you target, let's say, what are those guys? I even forgot that. There's a level 2 Nothrog that before he dies, he does a range strike. You target Iralos, an elf, who before he dies, he does a +4 range strike. The way that card works with Wyvern's Flame is you target a character who you can start and play like Gush before he dies before a melee strike. So you're giving him +7 attack, and now he must make a DC 19 or take a wound and die. So he has to roll 18 or better. He doesn't, he fails. Or you're running it with Talth, and now the DC's over. So you need a 20 for Gush to pass his save. He fails, he takes a wound. Before he dies, he goes to perform a melee strike. He performs a melee strike. He has now completed an action. He now has to make the Wyvern Flame check again. If he doesn't roll a 20 and saves, he takes another wound and now is dying again. There is stupid word ruling where that's how it works. He's basically infinitely dying and infinitely doing strikes. And as long as you don't roll a 20, you just first action infinitely melee strike the opponent. As long as you don't roll a 20. It's dumb. It's just... that card was written like that. The rules didn't work that way. And that was just kind of a later addition. So it shouldn't exist at all. So the way you do that is put it on the ban list for Ancients, and then you don't have to worry about it. So it's fine and open because there are other ways to kind of disrupt it. So that would be it. There are erratas. I think the erratas are still in effect, and some MRPs. You guys can check these out. No problem. Anything you want. They even give you some of these answers like Makusag. Cavalry, don't feed the Makusag. That's why he's on here. Or Nephilim Gargoyle, you can read about that. But that's the Ancients format. And that would be a lot of the decks that you'll see just based off of this list. So those that get taken off, that's what you're going to see. But then also there's the Medusan Lord card aspect. Now, there's so many different Medusan Lord cards out here. I can't go through every single one. But I am going to go through my top 4 and show you how they got applying, because there aren't really many that are out there to, like, a lot of them aren't really that useful. I'll even say like some of them are just like really bad, or like there's just some that are clearly better than others. So I'm going to go through those right now. So my top 4 in no particular order. Starting off, I'm going to show you Fate. This was one of Latnok's Medusan Lord items. Level 10, Seer only. May not be discarded while Latnok is attached. Order, discard a card, draw a card. So any cards in your deck, yeah, you can just go on and get them. When you're discarding cards like Children of Yeskar, you're essentially just spending a character to draw a card. It's really good. But react. After another player declares an action, discard a card, cancel the action. So anything your opponent does, you just, I don't like that. Discard Children of Yeskar, stop it. My action, I'll spend a character, get Children of Yeskar back. All right, what are you going to do something else that's going to kill me? All right, cool, stop it. That's what this is. If it weren't for open format, Medusan Lord cards could be an interesting tournament, but with open infinite, yeah, it's very infinite. And Fate is one of the dumber ones because it's level 10. So there was like some Medusan Lords, like the Wrath, the Latnok. There are those string of Medusan Lords that were printed with like low level items. They didn't really foresee the issue of when someone gets these and then they can put them into play and then just absolutely dominate with them. So luckily, like with Orbach Granitefall over here, I made my weapons level 14 so that it's really impossible to put in, and it's probably not worth putting them in. For that reason, because you don't want stupid stuff like this. But this one, yeah, let's make it level 10. Why do we make it level 10? Just make it level 10. Okay, someone didn't do their homework and really underestimated how everyone acts. So Fate is very easy to get into play. I will show you. Let's go back to Untap. And this is a deck that I'm really liking right now. So it may be the one I play. I don't know yet. Azrin the Foul. Wait, he's not a seer. What are you talking about? Yeah, well, there's a lot of good Devaronian seers. So Azrin the Foul, what this deck does, starts Apprentice Rama, as mentioned before. So we have Severed Flesh in here, which, here we go. Severed Flesh with Apprentice Ramas to stave off any kind of craziness. In the second rank, we have our level 2 Illusionist who can play Improves Invisibility ×3 to prevent any kind of silliness. And then also we have Acolyte Dora, who you roll 2 dice for on initiative if you see Sir Robert the Vigilant and you need to win initiative. Or there's some kind of stupid roll that you need. You now have Dora to back you up. That's what she's there for. But what it does is you have the infinite combo of Sever the Flesh, so you can save off things. But really, you're just Wheel of Deathing, getting Children of Yeskars out, getting Rama the Cruels. Jackals is literally your win condition. You're killing people with Jackals. But then you have just infinite recursion of wizard spells, like the Blink to stop any Sir Roberts, Twist of Fates in here just to stop any of these search abilities, just to really screw people over. Nodwick ×3, as I mentioned, I'm running ×3 of this because Medusan Lord card is Fate. If I'm playing cards like Wheel of Death that discard cards and I accidentally throw Fate into there, that's a big uh-oh. So we need a way to get that back. But you have Gedmorak, who's just a level 5 seer and can easily come into play. And as a Devaronian dies, Azrin can put that character into rank 4. Or Prioress Sophique, whose Nightfall ability, after it enters play, if it's not the first turn, search your deck for a card and put it on top of your deck. So you play her, you search for Fate, you now have her in rank 5, level 5, Fate's level 10. Just draw a card, play Fate, and now let the pain train begin. You basically recur all the Jackals and all the characters using Helm of Undying. I only have it as a 1x here. Probably can do more, but I have that. It's going to get discarded and recur it with Nodwick. I have Wand of Negation in here to blank any other opposing Medusan items. I just think that's fun. I have a Darkwood Staff in here just to put these wizard spells back in the deck because you're going to draw out your deck very fast while you're using Fate. And then there's just, general good characters like Tauren, Olivark. Geox Nemesis is your backup. Necromancer. Avatar of Magic is a wizard spell you can shuffle back, so you always have a character, and then you're always killing him with the Helm of Undying to bring back Jackals. And you just keep Jackalsing them. Jackals, it's a Jackal. So this is like a cool deck, and this shows you that, once you get Fate out there and you have Children's of Yeskar, and you just have the massive card advantage, you basically, the second you get it out, it's like, okay, discarding Children to set my board up exactly how I want, then I'm just going to Wheel of Death you and then just swing with everybody. And you can't ever kill my army because of Apprentice Rama plus Severed, now backed by the cancel of Fate. And then I will slowly murder your face. So that's an example of a deck that runs Fate. Let's go back. So from Fate, the next one, which I don't have a deck to show, because I don't think I need to show a deck with this one. Fist of Albrecht. I think this is like the gimme one. I think it's probably the number one for a lot of people, just because you can easily see the application for it. So it's got a bunch of stats which don't matter. It's level 10, weapon armor. Like, I don't know why it's only level 10. Dumb. May not be discarded while attached to Wrath. We'll never have to worry about that, so no harm, no foul. Your hand size decreased by 1, which is nice. You can bring multiple Paladin Warriors into play, which is nice, but not relevant. This character may not be killed by card effects while he is AC 27 or higher. That's just a fun bonus. The real thing that this card does is react. When drawing a card, you may instead target a card in your discard pile and put it into your hand. So, let's see, I shared a simple Jodin that works well on the open channel. So there you go. Anyone go check out Dragonbane 886 is Jodin deck that drops the Fist of Albrecht. But what you do is play Meet at the Inn. I draw a card from my deck and I draw the Meet at the Inn from that is now in the discard pile to my hand. And I infinitely play Meet at the Inn and draw out my entire deck just by having this card out along with Maddie. That's it. And that's what this card does. There's other probably like limitless possibilities. Anything that draws 2 cards, like even Loyalty's Reward, but you have to spend like a level 4 fighter for it. Well, there you go with like Serakian Manticore. Make him +1 level, and then he's just infinitely going Loyalty's Reward, so you don't have to go Maddie. And then your opponent has the ability to get a card back. But that's what the Fist is on here for. That's the easiest application there. It's literally as printed an infinite combo with just Maddie. So that is that. I don't have a deck to show with this. I saw that and I'm like, that's too easy. I'm not going to build a deck with there. Next, we have the Wretched Servant, who I already showed you a little bit of too. He is the best ghoul that is there. This was one of Madril's ghouls. He can start in play, so that way, when you have only 1 copy, the consistency is 100% because you can just start him in play. He increases your hand size by 1. So if you're running a mercenary warlord and you have no other agenda and you're just, what? I just want an extra card in my hand. This guy is amazing. This is the reason why Sanguinel is as good as he is, because he has 6 cards in his hand. You can now be a mercenary Sanguinel, so you can draw cards too. In addition to this, he's a safe bet. If you have any, even if you don't know, if you build your deck and then you don't know what else to put in there, just put him in your deck, and then when you draw him, you put him into play, and he's going to get your card every turn. Probably won't be that great, but you're good. So he is in there. What deck do I have him starting in? I will show you the Simon Abraxas deck, which I have him starting in. So this is the Simon Abraxas Negotiated Surrender deck. That is the win condition here. So taking a look, he's starting there, Simon Abraxas. Starting a Monk, level 1, unique, Gandwirian. Starting some Children of Yeskar, because discarding characters, spending them to draw stuff is going to be very handy, because if they die, you just go to hands, and then you're just fueling more draw for yourself with Simon's ability, who, let me get up on there. Oh, wait, I'm not even showing you guys it. That's how secret it is. Here we go. Gandwirian. Simon Abraxas. Once per turn, all players discard their hands and then immediately draw that many cards. This is the ultimate FU to anyone who's going to try and run like a Medusan Lord card, a deck around a Medusan Lord card. They better have a way to recur, because you're going to knock it out of their hand. Any of their hate they're going to have, you can just knock it out of their hand. The Wretched Servant just lets you draw the 6 card, Children of Yeskar. Garog is just 2 HP and a Monk, because he's going to be needed for your Negotiated Surrender win condition. You have cards like Fulfill Destiny, which if they're going to wound you, just force them to draw a card. You have Skimmeran in here to shuffle any cards that you draw that you don't want to just pitch to the discard pile with Simon Abraxas' ability as you're trying to mill your opponent. shuffle it back in. So if you draw that last negotiate surrender and you're like, oh man, I'm going to need something to do here, just shuffle it back in and you're good to go. Exhaustion is just a hate card. Back Alley Tavern, because there's going to be a lot of card draw. Forewarning, it's a cantrip, so it replaces itself, and then you see what they have going. Rescue just says, go screw. Steal Fate says, go screw, and draw a whole bunch of cards. It is a level 3 rogue action, so you need a rogue such as the Relentless, who's in here and is really good with Simon Abraxas. Once he gets discarded from Simon's ability, you can just kind of, get him back, put him into play. But he could play Steal Fate and just more protection. Meet at the end, obviously. Let your opponent draw a card. They may draw a card, so they may not. Wheel of Fate, everybody discards their hand, so it's basically another way to do Simon's ability. So you just play without spending. Premonition is the big one here. Anytime they're going to do something stupid, you can prem with either Torin or Simon. Negotiate Surrender is the win condition, and then you got to play some Monks and Mentalists. Darset is just the funny monk, and the alternate win condition. There's no movement or any kind of craziness to get him up there. Just get him to the front rank, and if they put their Warlord there and you just swing on him for 5 wounds, it's pretty fun. Devourer is going to be an MVP in this format. There is a lot of recursion and a lot of discard focus that will be in a lot of these decks. Devourer just eating those cards from the discard pile is just going to, shit on someone's cornflakes. That is exactly what this card is going to do. It is a really good card in general, and it's a Mentalist. Torin to draw. The extra children is in the deck. I'm starting them, but I could put them in the deck. I just needed to kind of cut spaces. I have 60 cards, which is more, but that's because I'm drawing 6 cards a turn with the Wretched Servant. And I'm also discarding a whole bunch, so it's like I have the room. I'm going to not want to run out of gas here. Quadland is just a Mentalist, and it gives me an alternate option to kind of kill some of those characters that they have in the front rank before I'm setting up Negotiate Surrender, because I can just pitch, Restless or Children of Yeskar, just keep doing +1 range strikes, and he's a Mentalist if he does get up there. Sure, he enters play stunned for the loyalty penalty, but he's there. And then we have the Restless, and then Kunatal, just because he's a 2 HP monk that can get to the front if I need to. And that's the Negotiate Surrender deck. This deck is this was my first idea when I saw the open. It's like, I want to try and Negotiate Surrender some motherfuckers. But it's not consistent. It's going to be super rewarding when you do. There are ways to just kind of disrupt it, but man, is it funny. I love that this exists. It's just very pleasing. So that's an example of showing the Wretched Servant. The next one I can't even show you. It is Slaughter. We do not have a scan of Slaughter. So let's just, kind of read this text here, and then I will actually show you a deck that has it. If discarded, react. It's a level 10 fighter item, +5 attack, weapon. None of that matters. None of that second react matters this, so I won't even read it. It literally has no effect on it. It's this one right here. If discarded, return Slaughter to your hand. You cannot equip Slaughter this turn. Now, the intent of this card, it's far as weapon. It starts in play. So the way that they intended this card to work was if someone got rid of Slaughter, he just comes back to my hand and I can play it next turn. However, because of the way it is worded, if discarded, not discarded from play, could be discarded from deck, discarded from hand, discarded period, return it to your hand. Any character can play this react. It's the same way that kind of Messire Diplomacy works, where you can, if someone is recurring and you just bring something back. The way Slaughter works, anytime it's discarded, just any character reacts and puts it back in your hand. The infinite possibilities with the Infinite Slaughter. So let's take a look at what an Infinite Slaughter looks like. Untap, that would be Sakar with, you guessed it, Angel Tears. So you start Sakar, who starts with any level 8 or less rogue item. That would be Angel Tears. Discard a card, do a +1 range strike. Kind of like Quadlin, who you can do this in Simon Abraxas too. And Simon Abraxas, when he discards Slaughter from his ability, just pop that right back to hand. But the whole point of this deck is, if I draw Slaughter, I have infinite range strikes. I spend forward and kill you. You have to kill me this turn. You have to disrupt me this turn, or that's it. You just lose. So you build your whole deck around just literally drawing slaughter, stopping any... Look at this. I actually worked this up from the Fish's custom card templates that he gave. So I just took the image of Farm 4 from the RPG and then I just typed it out. So it's now here under Alt Arts in Untap if you guys ever want to use it. But yeah, so that's it. You run Amulet of Waking. It's an item that you're going to need because I needed to put items in here because of Limited Wish, for example. And then, where'd you go? Trade routes. Spend order. Search your deck for 3 different items. So that's why Amulet Awakens in here. But also, it's just if I'm stunned, I can keep discarding cards. It doesn't matter. That player selects one item. Put the selected items in your hand and discard the others. Oh, there's that word discard again. So you play trade routes. You search for Slaughter, Amulet Awaken, and Portable Hole, let's say. Or Bag of Holding, which I got that sketch from the art show. Thank you, Jeff. Can't wait to see that bad boy come in. But you just get those 3 items. All right, cool, pick. If you don't pick Slaughter gets discarded and it just pops back to my head. So basically the whole thing is if you draw Slaughter, if you draw Limited Wish, if you draw Trade Routes, and you're able to just get it off and get Slaughter, you now have your win condition. And then everything else in this deck is draw. It's Vision, who's a good character and enters play without loyalty penalty because it's a car. Spend them to discard a card, draw a card. You can discard Slaughter if you want. Alaya, I don't like this card, and I use Tauren Yeskar, and I don't like the 5. The 5 that are coming up don't have Slaughter. All right, cool. I get a free shuffle now after I play her, and I draw a card. Higher Awareness is in here to stop Sir Robert's stupidness. Just you target me, make a DC 17 or go Kersplat. Sneak is in here. I pass a DC 18 to cancel an action that targets me. Rescue, no, stop that silliness. I'll never need that skill other than for sneak and higher awareness. Steel Fate is also in here. No, I'm a rogue. Go ahead, draw all the cards you want. Doesn't matter. Bag of Holding, discard a card, draw a card, just to cycle through. Trade routes you already mentioned. Portable Hole, it'll move you to that front rank in case you end up spent for some reason. You need to progress forward. Worst case scenario, you pitch Portable Hole to draw a card. Tauren discards cards to draw cards. And Forge to protect that Angel's Tears. And that's how that works. So again, Slaughter, super dumb. Super, super, super dumb. It shouldn't work that way. It wasn't intended to work that way. But the way it is written and confirmed in rules, that's how it works. So be wary. Again, if I was a tryhard, this is a deck I could probably just pop it up. And then you got to worry about things like if you run into someone running Philgia and Will-O-Wisp in their starting army, it's you can't range strike me now. And we'll see a bunch of people doing that because of the Caitlyn deck, which we know is a known commodity. So that could be an issue, but it's all right, cool. I'll just do a melee strike eventually against a Will-O-Wisp and kill it. And then I'll be able to go. So you just need to kind of be aware of that. That's the counter to this. And again, that's the chess match that I kind of beginning. There's going to be, everyone has stupid auto win conditions. Who doesn't have the answers? Or who does have the answers? And that's it. Game's over turn 1. So that would be Slaughter. Can't spell laughter without Slaughter. That'll be it for the top 4. So again, Slaughter, Fist of Albrecht, Latnok's item Fate, and then the Wretched Servant. Those are my top 4 that I think those are the best. There's other ones you could use. A lot of the cohort ones, we can quickly go through these. I don't think there's any that's super crazy, but I encourage you guys to kind of try and find them. So we can go through the cohorts now. So let's see, because I have this filter set up just to kind of go through them real quick. If Sir James, react after a character rolls a critical success or a critical failure, move forward. So that's not worth playing. Whenever it's killed by a card effect, it's wounded. So that's not worth playing. Bleeding Eye cohort. And that's the thing. If Argus Gawk is yours. So here's the thing. With any of these cohorts, you only get one of them. If you want to use Jotia's sign and make one of these characters your Warlord, just so you can play and get the full ability with their cohorts, that could be something cool. But I don't think there's anything there. Bleeding Eye cohort basically is just Johann Halfblood. That's all it is. It's just as a sparing. It's just a level 3 Johann Halfblood. This one has +1 HP and 3 attack for each weapon equipped to him and may equip 2 weapons. Don't think you can build around that. Builder cohort with some charges. If you want to soup him up with a whole bunch of charges, you can probably do things because he removes a charge to either draw a card and discard a card, charge up some items, move some characters, or gain some attack. Maybe you can do something there. Cal's Air is very good. React after it enters play. This here, it's this part right here. This one I think this probably is the best cohort. After it enters play, search your deck for 3 characters and put them into your discard pile. Yo, what's going on, Scape G? How you doing, bud? So that's what this one does. You can search out some Children of the Eskars or search out some combo pieces that you want to do and then recur them. Let's see. Dark Reserve. Once per turn, move an assassin in your army forward or backward 1 rank. That's all he does. Not really worth it for a Medusan card. Final Purge has +1 HP for each class your warlord has. That's all it does. Everything else is with Velrowan, who you're not going to play as your warlord. Fetter basically stuns a character. This is basically a character as a spell. Target character must succeed with a magic save DC 5 plus your warlord skill or become stunned, and this moves forward. That's after entering play react. So do that with Shire. There you go. You get it twice. History Tiers cohort. Basically, the order is here. Once per turn, target character has repost and can repost twice. Not really worth it. Noble Blood cohort has a bonus to attack AC and skill equal to his HP. There could be something stupid there, but I don't think so. If you Blood Oath him and then with Haviland Tanzik, just make him super uber, that could be funny. +1 HP. I see, is a wizard has +1 HP for each other cohort in play. Well, unfortunately, you can't do anything with that, so he's gone. Raging Mind could be a deck. Has +1 HP, 3 attack, 3 AC, 2 skill, and 1 level for each charge on him. After he enters play, kill one of your characters, put a charge on him. If your warlord is Signorus, you can put charges equal to the character's level. All right, so your warlord's not going to be Signorus. But, like, if you do him, like, make the Raging Mind cohort your warlord with draw to your side and then use like Cabra the Insane to move charges onto him. It's just like leveling him up. Do like Soul Transfer or whatever, Soul Charge or whatever those card charges. Put like 17 charges on this guy. I have a level 20 fighter and just go to town on you. Go ahead, have fun. Return cohort. Return cohort in play. If Leela is your warlord, search your deck for a spell and add it to your hand. So maybe you go draw to your side and make Leela your warlord. But probably don't want to do that. After a character casts a spell, returned cohort has +2 attack. Yeah, that'll never really be relevant. React after it enters play, return returned cohort to your hand. So he can be recurred. There might be an infinite combo there. I don't know. Someone might know something, but he could have potential. Robert Savior would remove a character from your discard pile from the game, move forward. So this guy is just essentially like he turns everybody into Gias and Fret. Oh, because it is Gias and Fret's thing. Yeah, so that's not worth playing. Scarlet Rose gains an additional strike whenever he attacks and +1 HP permanently and may move forward. Oh, that's just after a die is rerolled. That's once per game. Oh, that's bad. Once per turn. Of course, this is your warlord. Ready your warlord. After Silver Skin, when it enters play, return a spell from your discard pile to your hand. Okay, Silver Skin's pretty good. Just, again, a recursion aspect to get any kind of wizard spell back. This guy got some potential for sure. I don't know how, and I don't know what the means are, but it's there. Silver Font. Once per turn, succeed with a skill check DC 15 to force an opponent to inflict a wound on one of their characters. That's bad. That's not a cohort. Go away. Unfinished Mercy cohort. If Ishiver Darkwell. Ooh, that's a funny one. After he enters play, target character gains +5 stealth and medicine until the end of the turn. If it was permanent, that might be cool. Wisdom Lost cohort. After an opposing character targets a character in your army with a master action, if Taxon the Intricate is your warlord, it will not be. So he's level 5. You can do that. So this is just a cohort that says spend order to a +8 range strike. No, no thanks. Worlds Fall Allied Cohort. Enters play if your world is Peyton Latham, which it might be, do 3+0 range strikes. So without the destiny of Peyton's ability to go an extra rank with your range strikes, that just means you're shooting your front rank. Spend order, do 2+5s. If either strike hits, it gains a +1 HP permanently. I mean, that's just a good character, but that's not good for Medusan Lord. So yeah, that's the cohorts. The other options are ghouls. And I've already mentioned this Wretched Servant guy. You know, he's probably the best one. But there are other ones that are worth it. Crypt Ghoul basically turns your wizard into, was it Emperor Kahalis, Master K as Warlord form. Before a wizard in your army casts a spell, discard a card. They do not need to spend for it, which is okay. It's usable, but not great. Once per turn, reroll any die. That's all this guy. He gives you a once per turn reroll. Famine Ghoul gives opposing characters -2 attack. That could be pretty cool, but it's a lot of, like the way that Open's going to work. Melee strikes aren't going to be important, so that -2 isn't that bad. You could start him in play though, so that's cool. Forsaken Keeper, he just moves the ghoul forward or back, so he's literally just a level 4 la-di-da. Lost Warrior, after it kills an opposing character, discard a card and put that character into play in your army's front rank. There's some cool stuff there. Homeboy is saying Lady of Pain. I don't know what you're yelling about with Lady of Pain. What, for Forsaken Keeper? Or you're saying for Famine Ghoul? Either way, Woodrow. Pestilent Horror. All your ghouls inflict additional wound melee strikes when they roll even. So he's just not worth playing. Putrid Rogue. Your warlord's actions, not melee strikes, may target an additional rank further. That could be pretty cool. Again, not as powerful, but there is at least some use there. So that's pretty cool. Rotting Priest might be a deck. After a ghoul suffers one or more wounds, the character causing the wounds suffers the same number of wounds. So like go Rotting Priest with Pain Conduit and do some kind of crazy stuff there that gives him like massive HP and just watch him just murder the opposing army. There could be something there. That's really cool. And then the level 1 ghoul. He's really good when you have... Oh, he's unique. Yeah. He's really good to start, but like he's just a okay Spencer. After he's killed, all characters in the rank who killed it must... All characters in the rank of the character who killed it must make a poison save DC 12 or suffer a wound. So he's like Spencer plus Amatria plus more on a stick. Which, again, this is pretty good. One of the best ghouls if you have it. Like, you can start it and play. But, like, for this format where everybody has access to any one, that's not going to be your first choice. Wretched Servant is the choice. And that will pretty much be it. Like, I have the other ones that kind of go through. They're not really anything really worth noting. In terms of actually dropping some of the Medusan Lords, I think, like, dropping Queen of Ceneri might be pretty cool. I don't know if any of them are really worth dropping because of just how high level they are. You definitely want to do Blessed Edge right here. My whole point of this is just to give every fighter the Paladin trait. Get your character to level 10 to Call of the Wild. There you go. There's a option right there. Cassicus Cages, that could be a notable mention here. Spend the cages, target a non-warlord character, and just remove them from the game. Point, click, delete. Reactions may not be played in response to this. This is like a really cool... I really like that art. That's really cool. Good old walk. The Chakrams of Tatiana. I don't think I have to mention this, Midge. So the reason that we have a time limit in the cut is because of our beloved Midge, our good old fat kid. Slayer of Dexton Feldark. He took the Chakrams of Tatiana, put it on Garn Hearthstone, and pulled every single wound from his army onto Garn, only to throw them onto the opposing army, because that's what this is. Level 12, so basically you just get Garn to equip the Chakrams, and then there's once per turn that you get the react. Before inflicting wounds, reduce the wounds to 0 and move all wounds to any character within 3 ranks. So like as long as those wounds are spread out across any of your dwarves and your Garn, you just pull them to Garn, you're inflicting wounds on Garn, so then you react, you don't take any, and you just throw them on the opposing warlord from 3 ranks away. Garn Hearthstone versus Doran Core Touch. Or no, it wasn't Doran Core Touch. It was was it Doran? I don't remember, Fatkin. It was like Garn versus another. Oh, it was Nitesh, I think. Garn versus Nitesh. That had like a 2-hour game one at the Origins, I believe. And after Fat Kid played out that match, which he lost because he just got tired and didn't want to play a 6-hour match, and was basically just like, fuck it, I'm leaving. They made the rule that every game in the cut has a time limit except for the finals. And that is the Fat Kid rule. So there you go. But that's the cool thing you do with Chakrams, Dex and Feldark's item. Chance if you want to roll some D30s. I don't know. Can a tap roll D30s? That's kind of cool. Corruption is not bad, but no. There you go. You can drop Arco's Loth. Where is he? Where once per turn, permanently take control of a non-warlord character, and then you kill that to inflict wounds on all that. He could be pretty cool to drop. Another walk art. There you go. Avenur's not really worth dropping. Oh, some of these aren't Medusan items, just because of just how you have to look for it. There was one more we can look at. Drop Death. None of the Alcemeas. You can drop, let's see, one of the Faraz ability to turn someone into a dragon permanently. Well, you can work really hard to drop this and just increase your hand size by 2. Drop AL Dark Feather. Just because it's awesome. And mine and Oss say they really need each other. Epic's not really with it. Drop far into play. He's only level 10. But he counts as 2 characters, though. I don't know. We're putting him into play. If you have to have 2 characters in rank 9 to put him in, or does he become 2 characters after he enters play and throws up? I think so, because I think that's how strength works. But just drop far and then just stun him to the front. That could be possible. Level 10's doable. Fenrir, no. Fist of Albrecht. What about Fenrir? Is there anything? Good old Jeremiah. This is Alex Ventnor's thing. Well, Jeremiah made it level 14, so okay. Jeremiah was someone who I know loves stupid combos, and just insane thing. He's a one last time target. He absolutely can be. I don't know. Let's see. Before fixing illegal ranks, move this character forward up to 2 ranks. No, nothing here. I would have thought Jeremiah would have had some kind of broken combo on his. I think because he owned the Fist of Albrecht because he killed Wrath, I always assumed that he would have some kind of stupid combo on his. But I do not see it. Hand of Control just shuts somebody off. The Harp of the Agents is stupid, but not really worth it. We're just going to go through quick. Jerinar, there you go. Good old drop Rich Carter if you want. Legion, oh, what a bad design. Medusan Lord. I'm going to talk a little shit here on things like Legion and like Sadaya Tanzik. If you're not Mythglin and you have a Medusan Lord ability where it's like, search your collection for this and put it into play, like that's just lame, bro. You should have came up with, don't just steal Mythglin's thunder. That was Mythglin's thing. Well, Mythglin was so cool and I want to be Mythglin. Well, you know what? You designed a bad Medusan Lord. Enjoy. So there's some of my shit talk right there. Matryl's not worth it. Drop the Marcus Edges. Everyone has to play with your hand. Oh, yeah, Gwyneth Raw. There you go. There's another one. Gwyneth Raw is just because Mike Leader had 0 confidence in any playability, so he needed to make it as stupid as possible. He did not want to be like John Sinzer. See, John Sinzer had the cojones to be like, I suck at this game. I'm probably going to fuck up. I don't care. Let's go have fun. Mike Leader was more worried about losing. Let's see. Drop Master K just to say you did it. Ooh, I know what we can look at. We can look at, you can't drop Mythglin because she needs to be your warlord. So you drop Mythglin, then you change your leadership, and then you start Mythglinning. That would be very rewarding. Super cool. Oh, look at this guy. Yeah, don't spend your time trying to drop this guy. Grabski, wherever you are, let me know. I want the original sketch for Orvok. I hired you to do it. Why did I grab it then? God damn it. Let's see. Queen Mother, your aquatics? Nah. Any of these reflections? What about these reflections? Let's take a look. And this collector removes the character, blah, 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 once per turn before character suffers some wounds. Yeah, this could be, the reflection might be worth it. Inflicts an additional wound against spent characters with melee once per turn after target character with a melee strike. Redirect the strike to adjacent character. Okay. What about the glory? Inflicts an additional wound with melee strikes and can move forward. And then power once per turn after target character you control. Wounds target opposing character with effect. Inflict a wound on the target. They're not really worth it. Seeing Halo. The Black Blade. I know that was over there somewhere. I saw that one kind of going through this before. Slaughter, again, we already mentioned. Stone Sling, no. Storm Gym. Oh, here we go. This is, if you want to level up your character to be level 10, targeted opposing character in play. That character must make a will save DC 10 plus this character skill or be removed from play. So you can Silver Bullet Storm's Judgment, DC your Warlord, or just go away. Additional copies can not be played for the remainder of the game. That's really cool. I forgot Masochist had that ability. Black Knives and Sith's Sutek Warlord. Sutek King. There you go. That's really cool. Let's see. Terror. No, you're not going to drop. Black Blade. I mean, it's just play Yggdra's Tooth. But the Black Blade is pretty cool. None of these emo demons are worth it. Queen, maybe. War of Wages. See, Carter's smart, though. Make them level 14 so they can't be put into play. Carter, you might know what you're doing. How about that? And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's really like the Medusan cards that I think are really worth playing. There may be something out there that I missed, so I encourage you guys to look. But again, I think those top 4 are really the best. And then there's like a second tier or so of what you can do. And that pretty much wraps up the, the open analysis. I hopefully gave you guys a little bit of insight into what to expect. And again, like, I am not a fan of this format. I probably, honestly, if I wasn't streaming for you guys, I probably wouldn't even play in this. But I encourage you guys, as long as you go in there and your goal is just to have fun, just do a stupid thing. Let's laugh about it. The idea of dragging it out over the course of 6 rounds with 2-day rounds, so over 2 weeks of playing this it's gonna get old by round 3. But for you guys, I want to show you guys some of these decks on stream, so that's why we're gonna do it. It's just not gonna be as fun as the other ones. It's I could play spoiler with Nuclear Bronwyn. Yes, you can. Nuclear Bronwyn is really cool. Just even when she was around in Epic, I wanted to run her. But yeah, so this format again, guys. Don't be the guy who's just going to try and win this tournament because your deck's going to be lame. Play something cool. Do something fun. That's my plea to you guys, and that's what I'm going to try and do. You saw some of the decks I have kind of put together. Azarin, I think is kind of cool just to drop Fate and then just say no. Try and negotiate surrender someone with Simon Abraxas. That seems really fun just to do it and be yeah, I got it off. That's what I think I'm going to try and aim for. You have the decks like Slaughter where you just rules Lawyer because of how it's written. That's just really good. That's fine. But then that's what I don't like about this event. I get the idea, they said in the announcement on Saga, that it kind of brings the feel of Midnight Madness. And Midnight Madness is an event that it's close to my heart. I've won it multiple times. The idea behind Midnight Madness, you can't really replicate it in an online thing. So it's not a fair comparison to say that this is going to be like that. Because the thing about owning a Medusan Lord card, and this might be me being an elitist, and it's just kind of a purist, what the hell? Are you going to let me just play any Medusan Lord card? What is this? No, I'm not going to go pungent on you. But at the same time, that's really what it was. Midnight Madness was a tournament where you rewarded the Medusan Lord runners and they got to play with their toy here. And nobody was everybody understood. It's okay, I can just avoid that guy. Like Aiden Boyle. I can just avoid Aiden, not have to play against his Fate Drop deck, which the Azarin deck that I built is basically inspired by something he literally whooped my ass with. So just that was the thing. It's you get to see the Slayers in action doing this thing. And there was a little bit a rite of passage to that. And now to just say everybody can just pick anyone and go. It's like, I wish we didn't do that, but I am not in charge, so I don't have to worry. I just play by the rules that I am given. And just speaking of rules I'm given, Woodrow, make sure you post that Limited Wish and Phoenix Feather are legal. I already announced it on this video, so hopefully that. But please post the rules for the tournament and legalities, in ample time. Love you, buddy. Like that's my shit talk on you, Woodrow. That's not so bad. I said aided at Magic had shitty designed Medusa Lords and Mike Leader, but so I think they got the worst of it. But I had to give my honest opinion here. I know a lot of other people who are worried about this open tournament, but I really just don't if you feel like playing in this open tournament is just going to make you not like the game, don't play. It's okay to not play and take a break. Come play. We'll play a random other format. We'll go play some Ancients and just give you that palate cleansing. The channel goes up Sunday. Well, that's still late. I'll update the site today. Thank you, Woodrow. Appreciate it. But yeah, and then look out for Woodrow to post how Limited Wish will work. If you guys have to donate, if you have to track ripping things, all that good jazz. Look for those details because they're coming out soon. But either way, guys, this wraps it up. Again, thank you guys for watching. I've talked now for about an hour and 40 minutes, and this is like the half-assed version where I didn't break down every single Warlord. If I did it that way, it probably would have took me 30 hours. 30 hours of just research, analysis, setting up, building slides, and all that. And I love you guys, but there's no way I have 30 hours to kind of put into something like this. So with this, I was able to kind of all right, let me just kind of look at Ancients. We'll go from there. Look at these Medusa Lords. Just let's as a group just talk about the possibilities here, and I think that's doing it. So with that, guys, thank you for watching. I really hope this has been. Let's see. Have the future tournaments been announced? Have the future tournaments been announced yet? I don't believe so. I can check the actual site for you guys. So upcoming, we have this. We have Ancients format coming up on July 11th. After months of battling through Warlord's history, let's return to the format we all know and love. I checked that website. There you go, Woody. See, you put something on this site. But yes, the Ancients will be next, and this will kind of be again, how this description said, we slogged through it, and now we get to go back to hey, you guys remember when we just played Ancients? Yeah, let's go into that jacuzzi and get nice and relaxed. But yeah, otherwise it's just past events. This Warlord art show. Absolutely kudos to you, Woodrow, for pulling off this art show. Hopefully everybody got some sweet ass art. I can't wait to have some of that sweet ass art that I got in the background. I already mentioned Gravity Flux is going to be coming to me. I'll skip open, but join Ancients. Yeah, exactly. I'll skip. Yeah. So again, you guys, if you're going to skip it again, just all I ask for you guys is don't. You can skip it because it's not going to be fun, but just stay around. Come join my stream, and we'll talk shit on all these decks and talk about how this format's stupid. But I just don't want to lose any of our players and lose any of the momentum because this format is dumb. It's not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart. Just like I said in the opening of Open. Look at that. But again, all I can say, guys, is we're playing a card game. It's been around for 20 years that is quote unquote dead, depending on how everybody defines a dead card game. I'd say active tournaments every month of 50 players is far from dead, but there is not much new content being produced for it. But, we are playing a dead game, quote unquote. So it really is about fun and about the community and really about that. So just approach this tournament with that. This is not the hyper competitive format, though. It's going to feel like that because that's what the games are like. So, but hopefully you guys just don't get turned off by this, and really just get ready for Ancients next month after this. But that's really it. That's analysis. Hopefully you guys have some fun decks. So again, thank you guys for all your support. Every time you guys watch it, I really appreciate it. And that's the reason why you guys guilted me into coming up here and analyzing this stupid format. But, so yeah, once I figure out what deck I'm playing, I'll see you guys out for round 1 next week. If you have any questions, any comments, anything I missed, anything you saw the deck list I have posted, hey, Vac, you're an idiot. You forgot that. Shoot me a message. Let's talk Warlord. It's fine, even if it is a stupid format. But either way, guys, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.